I thought it was a, good performance, really on all phases. It was nice to get explosive plays by our defense. It was nice to get them on special teams, and our offense was striking with explosive plays as well. And I thought the balance of the run pass on offense was good. Our defense did a nice job creating turnovers. That always changes the game. So it's really everything that we talk about. I thought our offense did a great job / defense of taking the crowd out early. First time being on the road in a pretty cool venue. And, I was proud of them how they did it. The game was like it never is, far from perfect. Still got a lot of learning going on and, some frustrating things that will get cleaned up. But I like how they practice, and I like how they compete out here.
After the past 2 weeks, how big was it to start that quarter pass?
Yeah, no question. And, I don't know why the last 2 weeks we haven't started that, I mean, it's, you can't just talk about things, right? You got to work on them. Like that's not good coaching. Just talking, hey, we got to come out in the third quarter, And so there's some things in practice that we try to emphasize and try to get done to help those things. But they came out and they played. I think there's some young guys making some really good plays. Trent McDuffie in there, true freshman, plays at a high level. It's good to see Ace get a pick there, and Leautu's in there, and so some good young guys making plays.
Stood out for you.
Stood out.
What stood out about Jacob?
Oh yeah, Jacob. Well, yeah, he was on. He had one that we'd like back for sure. That was, and we didn't need it at that time, right? We just need to, get the run game going and all those things. But he can fit some balls in there, and those are some of the learning things. But he was on it. He checked some balls down. We're trying to go downfield to the backs, really, really, really nice. And I thought he was really clean tonight.
You mentioned McDuffie. What led into him being the start today?
Well, I think Coach Lake and company, it's just all about competing, and it's just all about young guys. Certain guys earn it. You give them reps. They play well. They do well in practice. He's going to rotate guys in there. And, Trent's been one of those guys since we got him. He has been locked in. It's, it's hard to describe. You can just tell, the stage is not too big. He's ready to compete and ready to go. He understands what we're doing. He's used to playing at a high level from, playing down at Bosco and that league they play in, and how well he's coached, down at Bosco coming here. And they do a great job, and he doesn't miss a beat.
How much does it open things up when you have a quarterback who really doesn't need that much room to fit?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. He just got to learn to balance how much room he needs, because he needed a little more on that one. But that's part of the, the snap decisions that we got to make, and really even kind of situation in the game a little bit. Just that whole thing. There's going to be a time and a place, but there's always those throws, whether they're game changers or not, that you're like, oh, I'd like to have that one back. And as far as I could see, that was one. There's another one I think we could have got downfield, but he did a nice job checking it off, and I think he's making good progress.
How big was it to see Aaron Fuller break through on the punt return?
I can't tell you how frustrated I've been for Aaron, because I think he's really good. I think he's super courageous. He's very sure-handed. He's like everything you want in a punt returner, and we just got to give the guy a little room. And we've been waiting for that. He's been waiting for that, and I think the credit will first go to the guys in front of him. And if you give him a little space, and there was some good blocking, he'll find it, and he can do some good things. And
The big field goal, what happened?
the field goal was a miscommunication. The fake should not have been run. It's all me. That's me.
How close was Savon to being able to play?
He was not close to being able to play, but he's close to being able to play next week and the week after. So we'll see.
Did that happen in last week's game or practice?
No, it was even before the game, so it's just something that kind of is a leg injury and just got a little bit worse. But we think we're making good progress with it, so we'll see.
Sean McGrew went over 100 yards today. What do you make of his game?
I thought he did a nice job. I thought he found the creases, put his pads down. He's not the biggest guy, but I think he does a good job of falling forward. That's what we want out of our backs. I thought Rich Newton did a nice job. Obviously, the 2 fumbles would be tremendous learning situations for him. There's no doubt, but he's a good player. He's a physical player. And sometimes you got to go through some growing pains the hard way to get things figured out.
We've been asking about the running back staple. Well, when you can lose your starting running back for a game and put up what you did in the run game, what's you feeling like?
Yeah, I think that's how you want it. I mean, you cannot have just one good player at that position. That's been our mantra around here for a long time. I mean, it's just too physical of a game, and even if the guy stays healthy, you got to spell each other, and it's got to be a 1-2 or a 1-2-3 punch, and it was awesome. And again, I think Sean and those guys would give credit. That offensive line was creating some nice seams, and I've always said, that Sean's got really good vision, and he can find creases and get yards. But I think the thing that I was probably most pleased with Sean was just falling forward and putting his pads down.
Is there any difference with Ryan Bowman this season, or is he doing anything better than?
I think so. He's a disruptive player. He can get in there, and I always say he's a curveball hitter. He's very explosive. He's on the shorter side, which I think is a benefit in some ways. He can get underneath those tall offensive linemen. And I think he's making good progress.
Initially you and Joe Trans age.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're all standing there on the sideline just going, I can't tell you how much we work on that. And, things happen fast out there and flash, and it's all about pad level. And there's a certain strike zone, and if you're not there, stiff penalty.
Were you curious at all to see how this team responded being on the road for the first time, big crowd, all that?
Yeah, I'm always curious, I mean, I'm curious every week how we respond. I really am, because I think it's a young team in a lot of different ways. There's certain pockets, the O-lines, been playing together for a while, but a new quarterback figuring this whole system out. We have new running backs, receivers. I thought that's what it should look like. They can do some things. Those kids can all make plays, and I think the strength of the receiver group is the receiver group. That's what I think it is. And then you go to our defense with all the guys that we've lost and replacing. So I think they're growing all the time. I like how they practice a lot, like I started this whole thing. They practice hard, and they're really focused. And if you do that, you're going to improve.
At one point in the first half, Easton had 13 straight completions. Have you sensed the consistency you're seeing from the offense is improving and progressing each week?
Yeah, I mean, I think the last two games have been pretty good, in that department. I thought Bush Hampton did a nice job of mixing the run pass and some of the run pass options. They're starting to figure out those pretty well. And so, but I think our, last two games, I think our O-line has played well. When your O-line plays well, there's a lot of other people that can have a chance to play well. Doesn't mean they're going to, but, the backs have been stepping up, and Easton's been doing a great job.
Can you see Easton's command of the offense grow in these games?
I think so. There's always something that's better from week to week, and we emphasize it, and he's on it. And we had that one red zone issue down there where we shouldn't have gone with a fake, but then we jumped off sides, and we got to be able to command the whole. Especially when we're going tempo. There's different tempos and all these things, and he's getting better at it. There's no doubt.
Anything else, guys?
Okay.
All right. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.